I
Hi,
don't know, I don't know if it's my
thank you for joining us today.
yeah, you can go on, I can hear you.
All right, awesome. Thanks for joining us. We still have people joining us. I mean, it's just 6:31, so hopefully the horde is going to be here soon. We just have Stanley and Toby with us right
Yeah.
now. So yeah,
All right, cool. No problem. How many people did we have register?
we have around 96.
Uh,
So we should
Close to 120.
hopefully have attendance of 50 plus.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. No problem. We'll just wait for everyone to join you.
All right, they're coming in. Welcome, Ibube. Welcome, Mahood. Nice to have you guys join us and be part of the early joiners. While we have time, I think it would be nice to get to know some of the people we are talking to. So, Ebube, Mahood, if you guys would be kind enough, I have given you access to talk, to speak. So, I appreciate if you can do a brief introduction, where you are joining us from, what you do, and what you're hoping to get out of today's class, today's session.
Guys, can you actually hear me? I'm not sure I can hear anyone. Please confirm if you can see my presentation. I think you are muted, Prince.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I was trying to. Okay.
I'm not
Is
so
that music
familiar.
from your end?
Yeah, I'm not so familiar with Zoho, so I don't even know if my presentation is showing. I tried to.
It is showing. I can see.
Okay, cool. That's a nice switch.
You turn down the music. Awesome. Thank you. All right. I think let's. I guess I've been talking since, and I didn't realize I was on mute. So I was saying, Mufta, could you please do us a quick introduction and tell us where you're joining us from and what you do and what you hope to get out of today's session. Also, success. If you're available, you could also please do a brief intro. Let's get to know you guys before we start today's session.
Hello. It's a little weird. I can see people I am talking to. My name is Success Ukabwike. I'm a digital marketing executive for Buy South Africa, an e-commerce brand, and we are based in Lekki, Ikate.
Hi, success. Thanks a lot. Sorry, did you say you cannot see us?
Yeah, I can't see anyone. I can't see anything.
Or why are you joining us from your phone?
Sorry, hold on.
Because right now we have
I can see something on the
myself.
screen though, but that's all.
That's all.
Yeah.
Myself and Paul. We both have our cameras on, so
Oh, okay. Maybe it's because I'm joining from my phone.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks. Thanks a lot for doing this introduction. Okay. I guess in 3 minutes, we are going to start the class. Um, let's just try to let's just try to reach, get to 20 people, and then we can kick off.
All right, that's cool. Just wait it. Just search for from picture.
Oh, so talking about influencer marketing, Paul, we all know that it's obvious that we have a new sensation
Oh, you
that's, that's really been taking up all the airwaves on both on all the digital channels, probably even offline too. I mean, no one else other than Hilda Bassi. What, what are the, what, as an influencer marketing expert, what are the things that you have seen regarding Hilda's rise to fame?
I mean, I'd say it's a well engineered virality, right? Much as people think it's a coincidence that it all just happened and whatnot, I believe it was well thought out, it was well planned, and I believe it's something brands themselves should begin to look at. I understand that in this part of the market, our risk appetite is, quite low and whatnot, and all brands just want to play safe and don't even want to go outside of the box, right? But if you think about it and if you really deep it here, I think we should begin to, and I mean, Ilda has just shown that we should begin to take the initiative. We should begin to be inventive, right? I'm sure she had these weeks to plan this, along with her team, along with her PR manager. There was a digital agency working closely with her, right? So it wasn't just that it happened by coincidence. All the trying to, I know there is this thing of I wouldn't say if it's just Nigerians or humans in general wanting to associate with things that are viral or things that are popular. All you just need to do is, light the fire, right, and just watch it burn out, right. So I would say it has worked for her. It has worked for her as a brand. Funny thing is, I was going to use that as one of the case study. Not really use that as one of the case study, but I was going to speak about in one of the slides. For us, a business, right? Not even as a brand or an influencer right now. For a business, that's, I'm sure she must have seen a huge surge in patronage at a restaurant. I saw someone's post. I said the person was going to eat at Hilda's restaurant just because of this, right? So those are the plus sides to going viral. It's just the same way, um, you know, anybody would go viral, and probably all the press and want to cover the person. The number of end media that she has gotten for her business and for her personal brand. I don't think in 5 years she would have been able to think of that or be able to come up with the funds sort of to really push that. So it's a good one for her. For the brands that that refuse to partner with her when she was trying to everything. I mean, I just hope that this shows to brands that you really need to be more open to, proposal. You need to increase your risk appetite, one way or the other. And I wish her the best. I hope it's not just a seasonal thing. I hope she's able to build a long-term brand around this, and everything doesn't just die down after the old Guinness records. But one thing I'm very certain of is going to have like a very, very strong effect on our business. I think you're muted. Yeah, muted again.
Awesome. Thanks for your insights on this. There was something you said, engineered virality. I find that phrase very interesting, but I don't want us to talk about it now because we might make a detour not too far away from what we are supposed to discuss today, right? But later down this session, I would like us to circle back to that topic, right? So I think right now we should officially kickstart and begin the order of the day. Hi everyone, welcome to this session. My name is Prince Ejirika. I am the Vice President of Events here at AdMap, and I can see many familiar faces, including AdMap members and quite a number of new folks that may not know what AdMap is or may have not attended any of AdMap's sessions. So I'm just going to do a quick introduction. So AdMap is the Association of Digital Marketing Practitioners in Nigeria. We are one of the largest professional digital marketing bodies. We come together to share knowledge, resources, opportunities, and help grow this digital marketing community. And we stand to be a reputable representation to all digital marketers in Nigeria, right? So if you want to become an AdMap member, please go to visit admap.com and join our community, right? So over to you, Paul, and please do your introduction and we can kick off your session.
All right. Thanks, Priscilla, and welcome everyone. And it's good to have everyone here. And just going to be talking basically about influencer marketing and how you can leverage it for your search engine optimization, right? So I count it a privilege, to be teaching this because I really like to talk about influencers and influencer marketing. So yeah, it's cool to be here. My goal for today is to ensure that be you brand manager, advertisers, marketers, right? At the end of this learning, you are able to take out ways in which you can leverage influencers for your SEO without having to rely so much on the technical bits of SEO, because I know SEO can be quite technical, right, and can be quite difficult. So my goal here is to show you ways you can use influencers to leverage this and rely less on the technicality of SEO, right? So without further ado, what we'll be talking about here is, of course, aside about me, is I'll be showing you ways that you can actually use influencers for your brand SEO, looking at case studies as well. So I'm not just going to be speaking and telling you theories or whatnot. I'll show you practical ways that this has been done, show you brands that have done this previously and how they went about it and how you can also do the same for your brand. And we'd also be looking at 5 quick steps which you could use in effectively integrating influencer marketing into your SEO strategy, because I believe it's not just it's one thing to just show you and teach you, and another thing to ensure that you're able to effectively integrate this into your SEO strategy. Before we then go into question and answer. So if you have any question during the course of the presentation, please feel free to note it down, and at the end you can ask. So you could ask question about this particular topic that we're talking about, and maybe bit part about influencer marketing. But anything outside that, I'm sorry. If you ask me SEO related questions, the Lord is your strength. I don't know if I would answer, but yeah, look forward to the questions that would be asked. Right. So a quick introduction about myself. My name is Paul Adewumi. I'm the founder of Viral Get. Viral Get is an innovative influencer communication startup, right? Where we are in the business of helping brands with their influencer marketing and also managing influencer marketing campaigns. And one of the reasons why we call ourselves a startup and not an agency is because we are quite innovative, and one of the things, or one of our visions, is using technology to leveraging technology to optimize the influencer marketing space. And currently, we are building out an influencer marketing platform where you can actually run your end-to-end influencer marketing campaign. So, be you a brand owner, marketer, advertiser, you could just come on the platform. From finding influencers, we have, I think, about 45 different niches or categories of influencers in our database. Can find influencers, profile influencers. Profile here means vetting influencers, then executing your campaigns and whatnot, right? Which is why we call ourselves more of a startup than an agency, right? So just a little fun story about myself. I used to be an influencer as well, right? So I kind of have an understanding of this space from both spectrum, right? So from both being an influencer before moving to the agency side and working with brands and clients to execute influencer campaigns and whatnot, right? And which is why I really set out to start Viral Gets after personally experiencing a couple of the pain points in the industry. So that's just a little bit about me. So we would delve right into today's conversation.
All right,
I
thanks. Thanks. Sorry, quick one. Let's quickly get feedback from our audience. If you guys are just checking in that you guys can see the screen and you can see the presentation that is being shared. If you could please raise your hands up virtually. Okay, I'm getting feedback that the slide is quite blurry. I think it's same thing on my side, right?
Okay, I'm not sure why that is. Let me see. I'll stop presenting, then I'll share again and see if that works.
All right. Thank you.
Second. Okay, let me know if it's much better now.
Oh yes, a lot better. It's now legible. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. I'm guessing it was some network. Okay.
Oh wait, I think there is something blocking. Yeah, leave it. Just leave it this way. It's showing like this now.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about like this? Not
Yeah.
showing.
Yeah, it's showing like this. But something is blocking it now, which is the blurry parts. So I'm not sure how that
Uh,
came to be.
so,
Like an inverted screen. Yeah, it's better. Yeah, it's okay now. Whatever was blocking it is out of the way.
oh, okay. I think I
Change
can
the
have
slides. Change the slide now. Let's see.
is this good?
Okay, yes. Just leave it this way. Thank
Is
you.
it better, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Uh,
Thank you.
okay. All right. So I'm going to continue. All right, Prince.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay, so just delving right into this, I mean, quick introduction about the influencer industry. I'm sure a number of people already know that the influencer marketing industry is experiencing tremendous growth, right? Not just in terms of even influencers, even the creator economy space is, growing at an increasing rates. As at 2019, the influencer industry was said to be valued at about 6.5. That's the global influencer industry was said to be valued at about 6.5 billion USD. That was 2019. And as of 2023, this year, the industry is valued at about slightly above 20 million, 20 billion USD. That's between the space of about 4 years. The industry has grown to, grown by over, that's over 15 billion, and it is projected to its evaluation of I think about 70 billion USD by 2029. So it's no small feat. The industry is growing, and because of this, brands are beginning to see the importance of the influencer marketing industry and are beginning to find ways to leverage this. And this growth, of course, I mean, we know that between 2019 and 2022, and this year, COVID played, a huge role in helping the industry experience its growth because lockdown, brands had to move their marketing budgets to digital, to online, and moving into influencer marketing as well. But if you actually look at it, I think the growth of influencers or influencer marketing can be credited to the growth of social media platform itself, right? But if we deep it, right, the growth of social media platforms can also be credited to influencers because without influencers, I really don't think social media platforms would have really grown the way they are. And without social media platform, I don't think we really would have had influencers, right? So it feels like a symbiotic relationship between those two, right? Where it's mutually beneficial to both parties. But now here's the thing about influencer marketing and the perception that brands like us have about influencer marketing is that we see influencer marketing and influencers to be a way to only raise or mainly raise brand awareness and to generate engagement, right? And I fall to that perspective and perception a lot because influencers and influencer marketing can help you. I see someone's hands up. I don't know if that's a question or if there's a problem. But yeah, I force that perception because I feel there is so much more you can do with influencers, or you can so much that you can use achieve by running influencer marketing campaigns. And one of that we're going to be looking at today is, SEO, right? Other things that you could actually, achieve with influencer marketing is you could use influencers in customer acquisition. You could use influencers in building a community because influencers themselves already, understand the nuances of building communities online. You could use influencers in building a community for your brand. You could use influencers, in creating content calendar for your brand. I mean, I know brands go through the hassle of deciding what content to put up today and what type of content to create. You could have partnership with creators, and your content calendar for probably the next 3 months, 6 months can be sorted. And because this there's always this human touch to influencer content that also gives your brand a leverage. So there's so much more that you can achieve with influencers beyond just the perception of influencers or influencer marketing is only for awareness, and influencer marketing is only for engagement. And that is where you get to think about influencers when you have such, right? So we'll be looking at one of those ways, right? How influencers can help you with your SEO, right? And I'm sure a number of people don't even know that influencers can help with your brand optimization or your search engine optimization. But if you actually execute it properly, you would even be getting more values from influencers than the typical way of optimizing your search engine, right? So looking at the search engine space in itself, of course, I'm no search engine expert or whatnot. I leave that to the people who are the gurus, but we understand that search engine basically is helping people or users who search for information either using keywords or phrases, and providing this information to them. And we see that, of course, the way brands think and the way marketers think, every opportunity is, or every avenue is an opportunity to leverage to put your brand in the forefront. And since users are searching for information, and search engines are providing these informations to these users, brands have one way or the other found a way to leverage this to be able to create relevant content, quality content, and ensure that whatsoever results that these search engines are sharing or providing to these users, their brand is able to also appear on the search page for keywords, for phrases that are related to their industry or related to the products or services that they offer. But here is one thing that we need to come to understand when it comes to search engine, right? Is that search engine results page is evolving, right? Because right now there is so much content consumption, right? And one of the things that search engine use or determines, or one of the factors it considers when it ranks websites is content and consumption and whatnot. And right now there's so much content that has become a thing that now more content means more information, and more information means for users more distraction, right? And the more distraction these users have, what that means is they begin to have, or they now have, low attention span. And the results of all this combined together is that it becomes difficult for brands to then get the attention of these users, of potential customers that they would want to reach. And what this has led is brands now have to force these consumers, these users, to pay attention to their brands by running ads. And I mean, like we all know, that has just made ad cluster every nook and crane of the online space, right? And I mean, for consumers who find this very annoying, they are beginning to block all these ads and whatnot. So the evolution of search engines and the content that comes with it, as really as much as marketers believe that, oh, we found a way to optimize search engine and ensure that our brand show up on the results page, it has become so much difficult now, right? And if you want to appear, and if you want to optimize your search engine, you need to be very, very, very inventive about it. And one of the ways to be inventive about it is with the use of influencers. And yeah, I know, I mean, we might be asking ourselves what's relevance of influencers when it comes to search engine optimization, right? Well, do you know that at the end of the day, the actual people you are trying to reach right, are the consumers, and the behavior in which, and you're trying to reach these consumers through their search habits, right? Because you believe that, they go on Google and they search for information, and Google search engine, provides this information for them, and you want to try to ensure that, your brand is among the results that is being provided for them. But the search behavior of consumers are beginning to change, right? Formerly, a consumer will probably just go on Google and, type in whatever it is they're looking for. Your website will probably pop up as one of the results. You'll click on your website, and probably look at the products, look at, maybe reviews that are on your site, right? And or maybe the product description to be sure that, okay, it matches, what they are looking for before then making a purchase decision. But now that behavior is changing, right? Now consumers don't just go on Google to search, and your site just pops up, and uh, you know they spend more time on social media platforms, right? So before they would even think of making a search on Google, they probably already done that search on social media, right? They've gone to an Instagram, for instance, and say, maybe I want to buy sneakers, right? I want to buy one of, all these Adidas sneakers. I just go on Instagram and, I type in the keywords, right? Because I know right there um, I can see online shops that, have this product, and I can also read reviews about the product. I can watch videos of, people who have, bought the product. I can see pictures and videos of people who have worn it, how they styled it, give me ideas on how I can style it. That shows that the behavior of, this has entirely changed from what we are used to. And because this behavior is sort of moving to social media platform, right? One of the best way to be able to optimize your own search results is also through the use of influencers, right? So this is the relationship between influencers, relevance, and, organic search engine. And because it doesn't, yeah, we get that you pay for influencers to, probably put out your ads and or create content about your product and whatnot. But at the end of the day, you cannot compare it to when a user searches on Instagram and sees influencers and what they said about your brand, compared to going on Google and seeing a paid ad from you, which is, of course, your website, and then going to your website. Of course, whatever you put in your website is just going to be words that you want the consumer to see or to read, right? But with influencers and even with general users on social media platforms, you realize that, consumers trust that more than going to, just Google to go and, search, right? So we would be looking at, few ways, few ways, right? On how you can actually use influencers to help your brand's SEO. We're looking at case studies and brands that, have also done this. And trust me, social media is playing a huge role in how, the search engines rank the websites that they rank, right? So we'll get to a part where one of Google's former CEO actually even made, a statement on how they, use content from verified online profiles, right, to be able to rank certain websites, or to be able to rank websites, in search engine results pages. So without further ado, we would just go straight into it. So yeah, one of the ways that, influencers can help improve your, brand SEO is through improving brand visibility. Now, I think a couple of you might be thinking, oh, brand visibility, I mean, just awareness, right? I mean, once I get the awareness, that's what brand visibility is. But I tell clients and I tell people this, about, visibility, the difference between visibility and awareness. When you talk about visibility, brand visibility, you're talking about putting your brand, in the limelight. Like nobody probably knows about your brand, or if you're launching a new product, nobody knows about your new product, right? What visibility LP does is it puts you out there, right? It lets people see you. right? And if you execute in the right way, you get the attention of people. And what this eventually leads to is that people want to know more about your brand, especially if it solves a pain point for them, or if culturally it fits for them, like maybe into their lifestyle or into their beliefs and whatnot, right? And they begin to search for more information about your brands. Now we'll look at a typical, not a typical, a case study of Crocs and Nicki Minaj, right? I'm sure a couple of us know this story, but what we don't know about the story is probably the results this generated. On the day Nicki Minaj launched this, I mean, it also helped that she had been offline for a while. She had left the online space, and suddenly made a comeback with this image. I mean, as much as you think probably is semi-nude and whatnot, but most users and most of our audience attention were drawn to the Crocs that she was wearing. And what this led to is every of our fans went on Google and started searching for pink Crocs, right? That's to show you how specific and how this particular image or this particular post, right, helped the brand. They didn't go online to search for Crocs in general, or they didn't go online to search for maybe a different type of Crocs. She was wearing a pink Croc, and they went online and searched specifically for pink Crocs, right? And what led what happened afterwards was that the Crocs website shut down due to over traffic. I think they said they experienced a spike of about 4,900% increase in their usual website traffic visits. And according to Google Trends as well, there was a spike I think a spike by about 450% in the search for pink Crocs, right, on that specific day. Eventually, the product was sold out, the website crashed and whatnot. But what had led, or the resulting factor of this is the search results that it has created for the brand Croc, right? If you go into Google now, search for Crocs or search for pink Crocs and whatnot, you definitely see the brand's website ranked on the first page, on the very first page, right? So as much as we would think that visibility is similar to awareness, it's quite different. And if you execute in the right way, it leads to people wanting to know more information about your brand, or wanting to even purchase your brand directly, and then going to search for it, especially if you don't have the full details in it, right? So this is one way for you to be able to leverage influencers, right? Pick the right influencer, probably an influencer with a huge following or a huge community or a huge fan base, and get the influencer to probably put out something about your brand in their most organic way. And which is another thing brands need to understand. You need to probably give influencers the creative freedom to need and create their content. I'm sure if this was in Nigeria, the first question the brand manager probably be asking is, please, why is she posting like a semi-nude or picture or content? All right. As a brand manager, my advice, or as a marketer or advertiser, my advice to you is, if you're approaching an influencer, right, you need to first of all look at the influencer and ensure that the influencer's value fits yours, because it would defeat the entire purpose of working with a particular influencer if you decide to take the influencer out of their space or habits, right? So yeah, that is one thing to consider. So yeah, influencers help in improving your brand visibility, which in return, leads to searches, and this also leads to visits to your website, and the search engine ranking your website. Another way influencers can help with your search engine optimization is through generating social signals, right? And what's a social signal? Social signals basically is signals that are sent to search engine via social media, right? Either through likes, comments, shares, engagement on social media platform, letting the search engine know that this content or this conversation or this particular person or this topic or this keyword is actually, is popular on social media, which then whatever is sort of ties to that conversation or whatever is ties to that post, right, gets to rank on Google search, right? Not just Google search, but of course, because Google search is the most popular, that's what would be referencing throughout our conversation. So take a typical example of when Ronaldo signed for Al Nassr. I hope I'm pronouncing it very well, right? It was a huge conversation online. I'm not even sure anybody even knew about the club before, right? Nobody knew about the club. Ronaldo was Ronaldo, but when this became a trending topic online, and of course, people began to search on Google too for which club is this that Ronaldo had signed for, right? And what that led to is for El Nassr, the club, there was a spike search in search for them during the period of when this was a conversation. So the conversation and the trend going on social media sent a signal to Google. This is aside the searches that are made for the club, sent a signal to the search engine, and like, this is a trending conversation. This is what people are talking about now, and the club now ranks. If you should make searches related to Ronaldo or make searches related to football in that region, right? The club now ranks on search engine. Now, if the club had, and this is on a global level, not just even for their region, if the club had done all the search engine technical search engine optimization they can do, the best they probably would get is ranking for just their region or just for their country alone. But now the club ranks for searches on a global level. I'm not really sure any um, technical search engine optimization. I mean, without having to spend an arm and a leg and doing it consistently would have led to this result, sort of quote unquote, right? So yeah, it helps you generate social signals, and this also shows that optimizing your search engine is beyond just focusing on the search engine itself, right? You could also achieve this focusing on social media platforms, right? And influencers, using influencer. And that case in point is when Louis Vuitton posted this image of Messi and Ronaldo, broke the internet literally, right? It was a trending conversation online. And for that period of time, and I think this was just a day to the World Cup, and every conversation and every search about the brands or football or related keywords, right, was targeted towards Louis Vuitton because of this move that they pulled using some of the biggest footballing star in the world. So you could work with influencers that are able to generate virality for you. They're able to generate a trending conversation. And another typical example is the most recent one with Ilda, right? If you go on Google now and you type in the word Ilda, right, in the first page, Ilda's Instagram page is going to appear as one of the websites. I don't know if she has a personal website, but our Instagram page is going to appear as one of the results, right? And this is because she had been a trending conversation for the last 4 days on social media now, right? Which has sent a social now, because I mean, people, influencers, regular people, everyone was talking about her, everyone was sharing posts about her, everyone was mentioning her, everyone was liking, everyone was commenting, right? So this has sent a social signal to the search engine, right? That okay, this conversation is actually important, and I sort of looked at the what's it called now, the name that is attached to every of these single conversations. So tweet one, post one, tweet two, post two, like what is constant, and it was the Ilda name and a brand and a page. Right now she ranks on the first page of of Google search. I'm sure if you had made that search before she became a trending conversation, what you most likely would have been seeing is Hilda movie, right? There are two different Hilda movie. I think there's a series and then there is a Netflix Hilda movie. So you probably would have been seeing just information about this movie and this series and not have seen anything about Hilda Bassi, right? But because she was a trending conversation on social media, generated so much social signals, and now she's ranked on Google search. So you could engineer virality for your brand, either through working with a very big influencer and creating a conversation that would get people talking, and which is why some brands always say, oh, we want talkability and what's not on social media. This is one of the things that helps you achieve, right? Moving on to another one, which I feel most brands should always try to execute from time to time is brands target keywords and phrases, right? What this does is so for as much as people say blogs and bloggers don't seem to be trending as much again because maybe Instagram blogs are taking over and whatnot. When it comes to search engine ranking, blogs are still relevant, right? And for you as a brand, it's important if you want to rank based on the strategy to ensure to work with bloggers and bloggers like website blogs and whatnot, and use keywords and phrases that are specific or targeted towards your brand or are relevant to your brand. Because when people make this search on Google, it is websites or blogs that have these keywords that it would pop up, right? If you can see searching for e-commerce store, right? This is one example, right? Ideally, you probably would be expecting a junior to probably rank somewhere here or a Konga or the likes, right? But I want to believe that whatever their SEO strategy is, if they have one, doesn't seem to be working so well. So if you are an e-commerce brand, you could leverage this, have articles and blogs written about your brand, about your product, about your platform, and ensure that you use the relevant keywords and phrases that relate to your brands, and understanding the search behavior of consumers and the keywords that they use and the phrases they use when they're searching for something in that industry. Another example is on social media itself, right? You would know, I don't know if I'm sure a couple of you must have tried this out, where you probably want to try out a service, right? You want to maybe get something from someone, or you heard of a particular brand and you just go on Twitter or Instagram and just type in the keywords to see what people are really saying about that brand. You type in either the keyword or the phrase related to that brand, right? And to see conversations that people have had, both influencers and regular users, with relation to this brand or to these keywords, right? Case in point here, Junior Foods, right? What this does is it helps you rank on social media and it helps with your sentiments online, right? If you don't, the truth is, users would continue to share their experience, right? And the reviews of products that they use online. You can't stop that. But what you can't achieve with the use of influencers is to be able to control the sentiments, that are being put online for your brand, so that when prospects or consumers search using those keywords, they are seeing the positive sentiments, right, before seeing the negative sentiment. If there is, if there's any sentiment that is negative. I know of someone, right, who I'm sure she's listening in. She likes to travel, yeah, and most times she goes online to search for travel videos, travel reviews, and even for maybe trying to book places or knowing places to visit, right? Being a travel trip and whatnot, yeah. she goes online, either YouTube or Instagram, and using the keywords or phrases such as for these things. And at that point, it is whatsoever videos or results that pops up at the first page, or during the first search, that she gets to see the most. So imagine if you work with influencers to occupy the first page, right? And you are putting out content using influencers. What people get to see is these results, and you're able to control the sentiment, and when people search, your brand is able to appear and whatnot. So that is how using brands, target keyword and phrases can help you in ranking for your SEO, right? Another way is driving traffic to your website. This is an old school method, right? Probably a method that everyone is familiar with, using influencers to drive traffic to your website. But yeah, it's one method that works, and this is why it works. Yeah, when an influencer puts up a post and includes your brand website, right? What happens is, if it is relevant to the influencer's audience, they click on it and they visit your website, which is organic traffic, right? And you would well agree that one of the key factors, one of the key things that search engine consider in ranking websites is the amount of organic traffic that is generated to a particular website, right? That is how they're able to rank that website to be relevant for certain keywords, or for certain phrase, or for certain products. So using influencers to drive traffic to your website, as much as we might think it's old school, it's one method that can help you in improving your search engine ranking without doing so much, right? The influencer carries the cross of the work, right? Influencer drives people to the traffic, people go to the website, and probably even spend time on the website, which is also a plus for you, because the amount of time a user spends on the website also is a factor in which search engine ranks most of these websites. So this is another means, or another way in which you could actually leverage influencers to optimize your search engine ranking. Another method is generating social shares, right? This is in one way or the other still related to visibility and generating traffic back to your website. And how this happens is, you work with influencers who are popular, right? Who are able to generate shares for you as a brand, and you say you have a content that is share worthy, right? A content that is appealing to the audience that you're trying to reach. You give it to this popular influencer to share for you, and the influencer shares it on their page. And because the influencer is able to generate shares, right, and comments and whatnot for this content, everyone begins to share it. And what eventually happens is, if that is the full if the content maybe is like maybe a snippet of a fuller or a bigger or longer video, people would want to see more about, or watch more. If it's a video content, want to watch more about the video, right? And if you have a website, if you have your personal website, right, people would then be led to this website to go watch the video, and this would help the search engine. It's like search engine will pick this up as a signal to say this website ranks for this certain. And because there is going to be, of course, depending on what the influencer says with the video, the keywords and phrases that are attached to that content that is being shared, search engine rankings would, or search engine would then rank your website based on this. And looking at an example, this was what I had actually done personally myself when I used to be an influencer. But sadly, the person that this was done for didn't have a website. I hope people can still hear me. Prince, just to be sure that everyone can still hear me. Can you hear me, Prince?
Yes, loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Okay, cool. Yeah, nice, nice, cool. So this was one I'd personally done myself, and what's the strategy behind this was to share like a shorter version of a an episode, right? And which, because then I was probably one of the influencers. I was able to generate like large shares and whatnot, and also what helped was that the content in itself was also quite engaging and interesting for the audience to watch. This generated so much shares that the the producers or the owners of the videos were able to generate 17,000 organic views for the longer version of the episode. Now, imagine this was an actual website and not a YouTube page. What that literally means is, I mean, we're just going to assume, obviously, there must have been like more than 17,000 visits to the guy's YouTube page, but we'll just assume that that is 17,000 traffic to your website, right? I mean, there's no way search engine is not going to pick this up, right? And there's no way you don't get to rank for whatever the keyword or phrases or phrase that's been used for this content. So that's one way you can also leverage influencers to ensure that your brand is able to, rank on search engine and you're able to, optimize your search engine. Get content that are share worthy, get content that are quite interesting and engaging that your audience would love, rather than having you as the brand post it, right? Get an influencer who is probably popular, or an influencer that you've looked through the history of the influencer, and you see that for content that the influencer shares, the influencer is able to generate shares and retweets and whatnot for that content. Have this influencer put out the content for you. You don't want to also make it so salesy, like in terms of the content. It could just be short snippets. And of course, the habits of consumers and users online is they're always curious, especially when it comes to something that interests them. They watch this and they want to see more. Like, oh, where can I get more? Where can I get more? If you don't have so much, if there's no information about that in your tweets, what would eventually happen is they go to either Google or even right there on social media and they are searching for it, right? This is even very prevalent on TikTok, where you see snippets and short form videos are being shared, right, about movies, about stories and whatnot. And if you try to say, for instance, now what movie is trending, let's just use Gangs of Lagos, right? Assuming Gangs of Lagos is trending, and a snippet of it is posted on TikTok, and people had not really seen it, right? And they want to watch it, they want to see more. The snippets that they've watched, they liked it, and they really want to get to watch more about it. If you should try to make a search for that on TikTok directly, you would see that the results even pops out before you complete the typing of that search, right? That already tells you that even right there on TikTok platform, the keyword or the brand is already ranked among the searches that is being made on the platform. If people want to take it off the platform, right, they go on Google and are probably searching for the brand on Google, or if you have a website where the influencer has included the subsequent tweets and said watch more, they are going to your website directly to go and see more about this. And that's another way to to optimize your engine ranking using influencers. Another means which I traditionally people consider this to be limited to just websites and blogs, right? Getting high quality backlinks. But what if I told you that influencers can incredibly help you with generating high quality backlinks, right? Now, this is I was talking about. This is former CEO of Google, right, Schmidt, and what he said was verified accounts will begin to rank higher than content without verification. So verified accounts on social media platforms, right? Not just blogs, not just websites, right? So it gives you the understanding that one of the things that search engine search engine like Google consider in terms of ranking websites or platform or certain information for certain keyword or phrases isn't limited to websites, right? And if you look at the table above, you would see that it talks about the social network presence in relation to site ranking. So what this tells you is the more popular an influencer is or a profile online is, the higher it has the opportunity to rank as a site, right, on Google or any search engine ranking. And this is how you could actually leverage influencers to provide high quality backlinks using Twitter, right, or using TikTok or YouTube. You could actually get influencers to post not just about your brand, but to include your link in their tweets, right? Now, an optimized strategy that you can use in achieving this is a Twitter trend. I see brands run Twitter trend a lot, and I mean, first of all, I don't want to talk about the issue of the contents that are being put out for some of these trends, but what brands miss out when it comes to Twitter trend is the number of backlinks that they can actually generate from being a trending topic on Twitter, right? Imagine if you had multiple influencers, probably 50, 100 influencers, right? Putting out tweets about your brand. And each one of them actually included a link to your website, right? As much as even if it's nano influencer, even if it's micro influencer, you would get, if the content that they are creating or the content that they are putting out as a tweet is relevant and relates to your brand and the link that they are putting, you would get people clicking on the website to your link. That is an incredibly high quality backlink that you can generate. And I mean, like we're doing, look at a case study, and this was one that we had personally executed for a client ourselves, where we did a Twitter trend, right? And we have created about 400 tweets, right, for this particular trend, and included the client's website, right, the client's link into each of these tweets that were being put out for the trending topic on Twitter. What eventually happened is, with just this trending topic, we're able to generate over 1,000 visits from Twitter down to the brand's page, right? I really don't know what you would classify as high quality backlinks again, because I mean, it's the same thing as having a blogger put up an article and then in between the article, includes your brand link and getting people to click to it. And what this eventually led to is, right now, the brand for keywords that relates to the brand ranks on the page of Google search, right? If you go in and type on Google search now and type in emergency response, on the very first page, you would definitely see the brand rank and it. So influencers, give you the opportunity to be able to, create high quality backlinks for your website, and being able to, get that trigger from search engine and being able to rank, on the search engine results page. And I mean, that's a great way for you to be able to optimize your search engine. And finally, we would be looking at improving user engagement. This is one of the means to get users. I mean, we all agree that one of the things that search engines consider in ranking websites, or one of the ways that you can optimize your search engine result, is to get users or get people to spend more time on your website, right? As much as a brand, or even an individual or a business, you might feel that, okay, you have quality content on your website, right? And you feel like, oh, this content, I've written this article and it's, it's dope. I expect that people would come and spend time and, read about the article and, they would enjoy it, right? That's just all in your head. If you are being honest, that's just all in your head, because I can bet if you don't do paid promotion and you put out that article, if the article is well written, of course, the keywords and phrases would pick up, but influencers to be able to get users to visit this your website and spend time actually engaging in it. So engagement could be either reading the article to the end, or filling out a form, or signing up for your newsletter, right? So imagine, um, I'll paint two scenarios. The first screenshot, right? This is a business sharing application for sharing a link to their application, right? Without a doubt, them sharing this, they already have an audience. They definitely would get people to visit. But imagine getting somebody in the entrepreneurship space who is an influencer to actually create content about this and tell people, like, because you already have that audience of startup and founders who are following this particular person, and the person creates content around it. The number of engagements now in engagements being people filling out the form or people signing up for the application that you would get using influencers would be higher than you as a brand just putting it out. And what this would mean is you will get more people spending more time on your websites, right? And based on that, because of the amount of time that people are spending on your websites, search engines would pick this up and they would rank your website for the keywords or for the phrases that are relevant to this article or to this particular application that you've put out. So what that means is, if a founder should then go and search for, oh, probably a startup visa application or something related to that, because influencer has already been able to generate traffic to your website and be able to get people to spend more time filling this form on your website. Search engine ranking as page stats, right? You will definitely rank on the first page of the search engine results, because the signal has already been sent and people are spending time on your website. Now look at the next screenshot, which is about sort of an influencer page, right? Creating content to generate sign up to um to a to a newsletter rather, right? Now this is an influencer who is used to creating engaging content, and you can see that the content has over 2,000, almost 3,000 likes, over 100 comments. So what that means is, even if it's um percent, even if it's 20% of people who have liked this that get to click on the link, what you've done is you've been able to generate at least 200 people using influencer to click on your link, right, and visit your website and sign up for your newsletter, right? And because this is an action that people are carrying out on your page, right? If you have a page, you definitely get them to spend more time, signing up and giving you their email for newsletter, which you can also use to send out newsletter to them. But what this means is you've been able to use this influencer to get people to carry out certain level of engagement on your page, as opposed to if it was just the brand that had shared the sign up link for the website. I don't think they would have gotten as much traffic as they have, as the influencer has been able to do. So yeah, influencers can help you improve. So even if it's to for brands that are in the gaming industry as well, right? You want to get people to play your games, right? I mean, you could use influencers, you could leverage influencers, to generate this engagement, engage with your game. It's on a website, or if it's a mobile app, you could get them to, do this. If it is that you want people leave comments on your article that you've written and whatnot. You could get influencers and use them to be able to achieve this successfully, which also helps with search engine optimization, right? And I would sort of move to and talk about these quotes. I find these quotes very, very relevant. Yeah, when it comes to SEO and influencer marketing, it says SEO and influencer marketing are the dynamic duo of marketing, where the technical pros of SEO meets the authentic influence of trusted personalities, resulting in a powerful synergy that elevates brand visibility and credibility. And I couldn't agree less, right? Because as much as SEO can be quite technical, with the use of influencers, their personality, and their authentic nature, you are able to synergize. You're able to integrate them together to be able to get better visibility for your brand and get credibility. So compared to when you just execute an SEO strategy through the old technical means, try to just focus on creating keywords yourself or writing articles and ensuring all the keywords and phrases are there. You would get that and probably maybe rank on search engine results page. But with the use of influencers, the extra thing you're also adding to it is the credibility that comes with it, right? And the authenticity that comes with it, and the content that comes with it, right? Imagine if, for instance, this is one this is one way to be able to hack Twitter. Imagine if you get as many as 1,000 nano or micro influencers or amplifiers talking about your brand every single week, right? Now content about your brand every single week. What do you think would be the end result of it, right? It definitely would become a social conversation, right? And you being a social conversation would send the signal, like we had seen, right? So this search engines that this conversation is popular online, and what would happen is you then are put on the search engine results page, all using influencers without having to bother yourself and stress yourself about the technicality of that. And you also create that credibility because these influencers are talking about your brand. They're probably talking about how good your brand is. They're talking about things that you can do with your brand and whatnot. So this is one way you can incredibly and optimize your search engine using influencers, leverage influencers in any of these different ways, and you'll be able to with less technical skills be able to optimize your search engine. So I just share quickly 5 steps that we can effectively optimize, integrate influencer marketing into SEO. Oh, okay, my camera is actually on. Okay, I don't stop any mistake. Prince, is it good now? Is it back on? Because I actually cannot see anything going on.
Yes. Camera is back on.
Okay, cool. So yeah, 5 quick steps that you can use to effectively integrate influencer marketing into your SEO. First of all, you need to define your goals. I know this feels like a cliche thing to do, or like, oh yes, people say it's define your goals and whatnot. But when it comes to influencer marketing, you need to be really, really um, intentional about setting a clear objective, because what you want to avoid happening is if you are decided that what you want to do is generate traffic to your website to be able to optimize your SEO, and then you don't define this properly, and you are briefing influencers, and the signal or what the influencer gets from your brief is just for them to create content. They create the content, right? All well and good, because that's what you've told them to do, and you cannot fault them for it, because you've not properly defined your goal and explain to them in your brief what you are trying to achieve with using them. So, oh, I want to drive traffic to my website to be able to optimize my SEO. That needs to be properly, detailed in the brief. And you cannot do this if you personally have not defined your goal, right? Another way or another step is to choose the platform. So after you've defined your goal, you need to choose the right platform. Not all platform works for all strategy. Sadly, as much as we would uh, want to try and use leverage all social media platforms, depending on your strategy, depending on your objective and goals, you would decide the platform that you want to be on, right? So is it going to be Instagram? Is it going to be TikTok? Is it going to be so if you are creating maybe you want to generate a conversation, right? You want to get talkability, you want to get people talking about your brand. You already know Twitter is a conversational platform much more than an Instagram. Your campaign or your strategy in introducing influencer marketing for your SEO would fail if you then go ahead and pick Instagram as a platform and you try to force it and see if it would make it work, right. There's no point trying to force it when there's a platform that can help you achieve this. So choosing the right platform is very, very important. What is even much more important is finding and choosing the right influencers. This cannot be overemphasized, and I say this always, right? It's very critical to um, choose influencers that would help you achieve your objective and goals. And here's why I say this. If your goal is to generate traffic to your website, right, and you go select an influencer who is known for maybe engagement, right? And when the campaign is being executed, you begin to wonder why you're getting more engagement than traffic to your website. I mean, you've chosen the influencer, right? And you probably have chosen that influencer because you feel like, oh, the influencer has 1 million followers, or the influencer has 500 followers, right? And you feel like, oh, yes, that's massive awareness. So, and the person has engagement. But in the grand scheme of things, right? What you are looking to achieve is traffic to your website. So even if you get all the awareness you want, you get all the engagement you want, if you are not able to achieve this, you are failed. And I mean, the failure boils down to you choosing the right influencer. I know people are usually drawn to numbers, and numbers in the sense of followers, right? I'll tell you some of these numbers to a large extent are vanity, right? Vanity metrics and whatnot. You need to focus much more when it comes to choosing influencers. Focus much more on your objective and your goals than would the influence. Not really would the influencer is, rather would than the influencer numbers, right? So if it's a micro influencer that would help you achieve your goal, right? Pick a micro influencer. If it is an unorthodox influencer that would help you achieve your goal, pick an unorthodox influencer so long you know that they align with your brand values and ethics, and they don't go against it, right. You should not try to focus on saying, oh, because this person has 1 million followers, and you know what would eventually happen with going with vanity metrics is that influencers will bill you based on these numbers. They won't bill you based on your objective, right. If you go with an influencer with 4 million followers, the influencer will give you the engagement and the awareness, and that's what they'll do you for. But they won't give you the results that you want. If you go for a micro influencer that you're very certain that yes, this person will help me achieve this, you get billed for just that, right? As much as yes, the influencer will give you their rate card and quotes, right? It's not like they will tell you, oh, okay, if I generate this number of traffic, I get this amount. They'll give you their rate cards, fine. Well, you'll find out that you'll find it more fulfilling working with them because regardless of what you pay to them, you're able to hit your KPI and achieve your results. Then another step is creating SEO friendly content, right? So when briefing the influencers, you need to include in your brief to influencers certain keywords or phrases to use either in their content or in their caption and for the content they are creating. If it's for blogs, like you need to let them know, okay, what captions to use, what phrases to use, what keywords to use, right? If it's for YouTubers, you need to bear in mind metadata, right? So that has to do with SEO. So metadata is like the title of the YouTube video, the description in the YouTube video, the tags in the YouTube video, right? Because these are things that help with optimizing your search engine rankings, right? These are things that most of these search engine rankings, search engine picks up, right, when determining how to rank your website. So don't just send a brief to influencers, and I'm talking specifically about SEO strategy now. Don't just send briefs to influencers telling them, oh, I want to create this content, 30 seconds one minute video. I want you to say this. This is the key messaging. You need to also pay attention to letting the influencer know that they have to create an SEO friendly content. So if you've done your research as a brand, you already know the keywords that are relevant for your industry. You already know the keywords and phrases that are relevant for your product and services. Include this in the brief and say, when you are creating this content, use this in your title, use this in your description, probably say this in your video, or okay, in your tweets, say this, right? That is, one step to effectively integrate influencer marketing into your SEO strategy. And the last bit is to ensure that you track and measure for ROES, not ROI. Now, I know marketers here are always looking at the bottom line at the end of the day, right? Like, oh, okay, how did it affect the bottom line? How many people bought? And how many people did this? How many people did that? But if you're going to track and measure the success of your campaign, the first thing you need to do is, first of all, measure for, return on advertising spend, not return on investment. And I say this because when it comes to influencer marketing, and even some marketing in general, before you can get return on investment, you need to even get return on your advertising spend. And getting return on your advertising spend is dependent on, if you actually meet the KPIs or the objectives that were set from the very beginning of your campaign, which is why I say setting campaign goals and objective is quite important, right? It is when you measure for this that you are then able to narrow down or drill down into measuring for return on investments, because measuring return on advertising spend, you're able to tell that, okay, I paid 20 naira to be able to generate 100 traffic, so that's probably like 0.2 naira or thereabouts per traffic, right? You're able to know that, okay, you got what's it called, return on your advertising spend. Then over time, you would, of course, if you're a brand that is tracking, sales from your website, you can tell what sales came within what period and from what traffic. Then you can now drill it down and say, okay, this is based on this campaign. But if you don't, if you measure for return on investment, you would always get disappointed, right? As much as, yes, we are targeting the bottom line, there's no way you would execute influencer marketing successfully and effectively without over time getting return on your investment. But if you, from the get-go, your campaign ends today and what you are trying to measure for is return on investment, I'm sorry, you'll be disappointed, right? If you are being honest. So you need to track your campaign, ensure that the influencers are, doing the right thing based on the brief, then measure for return on advertising spend and not return on investment. So yeah, I think my video is off again. I'm not sure what it keeps happening. Right. So yeah, these are 5 steps to help you effectively integrate your influencer marketing into integrate influencer marketing into your SEO strategy. And in conclusion, I would say that influencer marketing can be a very, very valuable strategy to improving your brand's SEO, right? Partnering with the right influencer, creating high quality content that SEO based, and targeting keywords and driving traffic to your website. All this when executed properly and combined together. You don't need the technical skills of an SEO expert to be able to optimize your brand's search engine. And yeah, that is all for now. So thanks guys for listening, and if you do have any question, happy to take questions now. And yeah.
Thanks a lot, Paul. This has been a very interesting and insightful session. A little bit of plot twist for kind of simplifying all that technical things that you could have done with SEO, rel canonical links, no follow, do follow links, website rank, page authority, link juicing, all of those technical things that could be hard for most people to grasp, and just kind of using influencer marketing to hack all of it, right? Thanks a lot for sharing all your knowledge with us today. I think let's go to the audience who have been listening with us all through, and let's kind of get questions from them, because I think you've gone on for a while. Let's see if anyone has anything to. Okay, I see. Temidayo below, his or her hand has been up for a while. If you have a question, I've just given you access to talk. If anyone else has any question they want to ask us, ask Paul, please do raise up your hand and I'll give you access so that you can share your question.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I think it was an error. My hands were raised since the beginning of the meeting, but I just want to say that I've learned a lot, and I see how influencer marketing can be integrated with SEOs, and they shouldn't be that different from each other. We can merge them and get the best out of it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for your feedback. We're glad you've learned something today. Do you have any other questions? Aaron, Adeoye, Asumo, Doris, Eloho, Emmanuel, Bimileke, Mahmoud, Yinka, Peter, Samuel, Shegun, and Victor. Any questions from the house? If you do have a question, please just signify by putting your virtual hands up, and I'll give you access to speak.
Okay, I think there are a couple of hands up.
All right. I have Adeoye. I've given you access to speak. Memileke, you up next once Adeoye is done, and then Yinka once Memileke is done. All right, please go ahead and ask your question, Adeoye.
Hi, thanks for the session and sharing your knowledge. I just wanted to ask about your platform. I know you talked about that you're working on the solution around influencer marketing. I wanted to know if your platform has some kind of tools that can assist with the search engine optimization, having to leverage influencers.
Okay. So do you want me to answer or just take all the questions at once? I think it will be best if I just answer after the other. So the platform, it's an end-to-end influencer marketing platform. I mean, SEO, optimizing your SEO using influencers is usually boils down to your strategy, right? More rather than and the use of it. So if you are able to develop your strategy first of all, right, you would be able to then use the tool in helping you execute based on your strategy. But I don't think there's specific tool that can help with using influencers to optimize your SEO. Using influencers to optimize your SEO is first of all a strategy, then execution can be used with it. So yes, execution can be done with the platform, right? Because it's an end-to-end influencer platform. So you can find the right influencer based on your objective or your goal, because you'll be able to vet these influencers as profile them. So you'll be able to profile the influencer, be able to profile the influencer's audience, be able to profile their content as well, right? To get insights if they are the right fit for the objective of the campaign. And of course, you'll be able to track your campaign as it's running, right? And generate a report at the end of the campaign.
All right, thanks.
Right. Okay.
Awesome, Uleke.
Hey everyone.
Adewumi.
Okay, my question is a bit practical, so and I'll be straightforward with it. Currently, an ETL manager for one of the leading mobile brands in Nigeria, not in Africa at the moment. So I had an issue with a KOL last month. A series of issues. The first one is I realized that the mega influencers, those that are over 1 million followers, they are just concerned about their price rates or their rate card. They are not really concerned about if the hiring brand is getting a good ROI on, or they are hitting some of their goals or objectives. Because we reach out to a lot of QLs, they're just saying that's my rate card, that's my rate card. But can you give us what we want? They will just say, I will just come up with the content for you guys and I'll post it, and I'm sure you guys will have a lot of engagement. And we were not focusing on engagement, we were focusing on having a good number of sales and traffic to a landing page for the pre-order of our new smartphone device. So now my question is, Mr. Paul, this is directly to you. Based on your experience, how would you handle situations like this? And would you advise that we use micro influencers or mega influencers? I don't know. What do you suggest?
Okay. So I believe that's like a general pain point in the industry when it comes to executing influencer marketing campaigns. One of the biggest challenge is working with the big guys, right? Because for them, sometimes if they make it feel like they are doing you a favor more than you are doing them a favor, and I get that, right? But what I always tell brands and tell our clients, right, is not you don't have to forcefully work with a specific influencers if they are not able to give you the results that you have to do. If you have a brief, I don't know if you guys share um, briefs with the influencers that you work with, but if you don't, I'll advise you do, and ensure that the brief is as detailed as possible. That's number one. And from the onset, like you guys already do, always let the influencer know what the objective is and let them come back to outrightly tell you if they can help you achieve that. And if they cannot help you achieve that, I would advise you then. I'm sure there are a couple of bigger influencers that can do this. If you are not able to find, why not go for the smaller guys, the micro guys, the macro guys, right? They obviously will be less cheaper, and you would be willing to work with you as a partner rather than just even a like a one relationship. So if you have spoken to them and they are not able to give you a direct answer to saying, oh yes, they are working towards the same objective as you are working towards, then it should definitely go for the lesser guys, right? But um, at the end of the day, is all down to who is going to help you achieve what you want to achieve. If the lesser guys so are not able to help you achieve it, it still defeats the purpose. But I'm very certain like you get influencers who can help you do this. But don't ever you would get these signals from the very onset. Once you begin to get such issues from influencers, just I mean but just terminate the relationship before it even gets started, because what would eventually happen is this influencer would ask for upfront fee, right? Because they already know that you've come to them with some particular objective and they most likely are not ready to help you, really achieve that objective. So they would ask for their fee upfront and you pay them and they create the content, and that's the end for them. They probably will never want to respond to you. So once you begin to get this signal from the onset, there's no point proceeding with the relationship. Just move on. And, the budget that you probably have to spend on that particular influencer, you'll be able to spread it to, working with more micro, more macro influencers. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. You're right. Because we had the same issue too last week. We're talking with an influencer for the past 3 weeks, and I was surprised on a Monday morning seeing him posting about one of our competitors' brand. I was shocked that we have an agreement. In fact, we have a signed agreement with you. We're just waiting for the payment for approval so that we can pay you and you can start creating the content. And he was just blabbing and said, you know what, speak with my manager. I'm sorry, something came up and the other brands paid up immediately, so I will have to cancel the agreement with us. That's quite disappointing, but I understand based on what you said. So thank you so much for the feedback. Thank you. The another
Yeah.
thing is how can I reach out to you, your agency, so you have some of couple of things that you can do for us. You know.
Okay. First of all, to just even speak to the influencer working with competitors. This is why it's quite important and critical for you to always vet an influencer before working with them, because influencers at the end of the day, they are human rights, and some don't even have the right attitude to work with, and you'd be able to, you know, either get this by vetting them. If you see that an influencer has worked with multiple brands and competing brands together, you should definitely know that the influencer is also going to work with your competitor, whether you pay them or whatnot, right? But I believe for the very first conversation you would have with an influencer, you would be able to tell the red flags with regards to influencers. And I mean, before you even make payments, just about before, because you you don't want to make the mistake of trying to say, oh, because this person is popular, right? And like we just have to find a way to work with that influencer. The signal you've given to that influencer is telling the influencer that we can't do without you, and I mean, we need you, not the influencer. Needing your brand or needing your partnership, right? And they just would begin to act up. From my experience working with influencers, that's what will happen. They begin to act up and begin to do different issues. So some influencers there's some influencers that don't honor agreements, right? As much as you want to, personally, I feel there should be a checkmate to things like this in the industry, and we're hoping that would get there, right? If you have an agreement with an influencer and they break it, try to find an amicable way to resolve it. I don't want to say try to go legal because you don't want to escalate anything. If you've paid the influencer, I mean, I'm sure the terms would have been written there that if they work with competitor within certain period, like you guys can terminate the contract, right? So just activate that clause and terminate the contract and ask for a refund, right? So, yeah. About reaching me, I don't know if you are a member of AdMap.
Yes.
I don't know if that's the group, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'll drop a message in the DMN group and we can talk
Okay,
afterwards.
I can do LinkedIn too. I can reach out to you on LinkedIn if this is your official name on LinkedIn.
Yes, yeah, this is my profile on LinkedIn. Yes.
Okay, I'll reach out to you on LinkedIn. Thank you so much.
All right, that's Demi.
All right. Thank you so much, Paul. It's been an amazing one. And
Thanks.
so my question is also somehow in line with the last questions, but I'll bundle it this thus. So I'm speaking from the angle of brand ambassadorship and influencer marketing, right? For influencers. So I wanted to ask, can is clause always be added to the agreement signed with these guides such that it allows you to create a landing page specifically for them, right? Talking in terms of building links and building authority for the page and whatnot, so say for instance an e-commerce product, an e-commerce or a specific product focused campaign, maybe just so you then create a landing page specifically for that influencer or for that brand ambassador, and then
Hi, Olayinka. I think your line is off. Can anyone still hear me? Just want to be sure that it's not.
can you hear me though?
Yeah,
Yes, we can hear you, Paul.
okay. Olayinka, I think your network is going in and out.
Wow, so sorry. But can you hear me now?
Much better.
Okay, let me just quickly summarize. So as I was saying, that is it possible to add a clause to the agreement such that you're able to build landing pages specifically for these guys? That's one. Number two, would you advise such for, from talking from the angle of an influencer and how it impacts SEO? Thank you.
Okay, okay, taking the first question. I don't think there is it all boils down to the conversation you have with the influencer, right? There is no do's or don'ts when it comes to that. If you have a conversation with the influencer and talk about wanting to build a landing page, that's I'm sure you guys can have that conversation and talk about the essence of having a landing page and why you want to build one. And that sense, you need to also note. I'm not sure what's going to be on the landing page, and I'm not sure if you would be using the influencer's picture or image on the landing page. If you would, right, I think that's is um, in the bracket of brand image, and most influencers would want to charge you for like their brand imaging and whatnot, and or image rights, right? So they want to have that conversation. I don't think it's a no or yes answer. It all comes down to what your objective is, why you want to have a landing page, and this is answering the second question: why you want to have a landing page, what it helps you achieve. Are you building a landing page specifically for that influencer to be able to track the traffic that the influencer generates. If that is why, I'm sure there are tools that you can use to embed into your actual website link, create specific links for specific influencers, right, to be able to track. But if that is not why, if you guys are probably doing it for branding sake and whatnot, I mean, that would definitely be appealing to the influencers audience, and yeah, might get people to want to visit the landing page itself. In terms of ranking on the website, if you're building the landing page on your website, right? I would rather I would advise you guys just build, rather than building a separate landing page, just incorporate the influencer into your, already existing page, right? So that you are able to, quote and unquote, milk um, milk the traffic that would be generated by that influencer, because you don't want, at the end of the day, when the campaign is all over and just that landing page is ranking on the search engine, yeah, especially when your agreement or when your contract with the influencer comes to an end, right? You don't have any association again with the influencer. You don't want to still be generating traffic so that because you're already ranking on, search engine rank results page. So I'd advise that you find a way to just incorporate it into your actual page, so that when your contract to the influencer comes to an end and you guys are already ranking on search engine results page, it's still, the traffic is still going to your actual website than the landing page. So yeah.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot, Paul. We really appreciate you taking your knowledge, and everything you did to put together this session. Thanks a lot, everyone, for attending. We appreciate you joining us. Remember to please visit admap.com, register to become part of the community, and also attend our future sessions. All right, with that, I'll call it a wrap for today. Thanks, and have a great evening, everyone.